Hello everybody, welcome to my assembly. I hope you're all well and keeping safe. It's a little bit chilly, isn't it? So I hope you're keeping warm too. I'm sorry I can't see you, but I hope you enjoy our virtual assembly. So my assembly today is going to be an update on what we've been doing in ECO since we last had our last meeting, what's coming up next, and a date for your diary, an event that's happening at the end of the month that you might like to take part in. So during my last assembly, I talked to you about SOS Africa and whether we can raise enough money to send a child to school. We talked about whether we could save money by turning off the lights and making sure our plugs in school are switched off at the end of the day. So it's great to be able to let you know that we have raised some money. There's Eric and Eddie just popping by to say hello. So we have raised some money and we've been able to send a little girl called Karisna to school. So Karisna lives in Africa. She's the youngest of 5 children. She lives with her mother, grandmother, and 4 siblings. Both her parents work hard, though they struggle to provide the family's needs. So due to our help at Autumn Wistow School, we've been able to send some money to Karisna's family so they can pay for her to attend school. So the money's been raised through saving some of our electricity money, and also the teachers in school, instead of sending Christmas presents home for all of you, we raised the money, we saved the money and have sent it to SOS Africa so children like Karisna can go to school. I'm sure you're happy with that. I'm sure you had lots of presents at Christmas time, but for Karisna, her best present is that she can now go to school just like we do. So our eco update, well done to our eco warriors who are making sure we complete the eco checks every week. There are lots of children now that are bringing in a healthy snack into school. So please remember, we don't advocate children bringing in a snack into school that's in a packet. So try and bring in a fresh piece of fruit or some vegetables in a recyclable pot, a reusable pot. The eco warriors also check to make sure the bins in your classrooms are being used properly. So please make sure just paper goes in the paper bin. If you've got anything that can't be recycled, it needs to go in the black last resort bin. Things like tissues go in the last resort bin. It's been lovely to see, despite the weather, there's more bikes and scooters in the playground. There's lots of you that also walk to school, so that's great. You're leaving the car behind. You're saving water and electricity, so make sure the taps are turned off. When we wash our hands for 20 seconds, we need to make sure the taps are turned off straight away afterwards. And we're also making sure we care for our school grounds and community. I'm going to talk to you today about a different way we can care for our community, not just us, we can care for the wildlife in our community too. There's a message down there that says, join us from the 29th to the 31st of January. I'm going to tell you what that's all about in a minute. So from the 29th to the 31st of January, there's an event taking place that's called the RSPB Big Garden Birdwatch. And it's run by the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. And it's a free event, so you can sign up online and download some checklists and count up how many birds that you see in your garden. And this gives the RSPB a clear idea of how many birds there are around Great Britain. So it's a fun event you can take part in. You can download the information from the internet. Your parents are going to be sent home the links and you'll have a checklist, and it's a nice activity to do maybe on a cold morning. I often sit down with a cup of tea and a biscuit and enjoy counting, see all the different birds that visit my garden. Let's have a think about some of the birds that might be visiting your garden this winter time. I don't think you'll see any eagles like Eric and Eddie. So let's think about some British birds. You may spot some of these when you do your big garden bird watch. Do you know what that bird is? Yes, it's a blackbird. It's a male blackbird. The female blackbirds are actually brown. We don't call them brown birds. They're just female blackbirds. So that's a male blackbird. I think you'll know what this one is. Yes, that's a robin with his brown head and his red chest. Then we have a magpie. Lots of foundation age children know what they are. Then we have a starling. Don't see so many starlings around now. Hopefully you'll spot some in your garden, but there aren't as many spotted as there were when I was younger. I had quite a big garden when I was small, and we spotted lots and lots of starlings, not so many in my garden now. The next bird is a bird that you probably see a lot of, and I imagine you'll count lots of these in your gardens when you take part in your bird watch. And it's a house sparrow. How about this one? It's a beautiful looking bird. Yes, it's a blue tit. Blue tits are diurnal birds, and that means they can often be seen during the day, and they're spotted in gardens too. They are omnivores. They like to eat insects and caterpillars as well as seeds and nuts. It can be spotted by its blue feathers on the back. Blue tits have long, thin tails, small round bodies, yellow feathers on their belly, and a small beak. So that's a blue tit. I'm not sure if you'll spot these in your garden, but I wonder if you know what they're called. It's a bullfinch, and bullfinches are awake during the day. They live and hunt in the woods. Bullfinches are often not spotted in gardens, so keep your eye out if you're down in Ferry Meadows or in the woods. You might spot them there. They eat mostly seeds and flower buds, but when they have babies to feed, they collect up some insects for their babies to eat. They have a black cap and a large but short bill, so it looks like a cap. It's the black feathers on the top of their head. They have a pink chest and cheeks, a round body, and a long black tail. That's a bullfinch. This was a really interesting looking bird that I spotted. I wonder if any of you know what this is. I liked the look of this bird because I thought it's very clever the way he's camouflaged against the branch. This is called a nightjar, and as its name suggests, it's a nocturnal animal, so they come out at night at dusk and dawn. So dawn first thing in the morning and dusk last thing at night. It's a bit like owls, they like to be around in the evening. So their feathers look like tree bark, and this acts as camouflage to help them hide from predators. They are carnivores, so they like to eat insects such as moths and beetles. They have a short beak and a wide mouth, perfect for catching moths. I thought that was quite interesting because I thought their feathers looked a bit like a moth. They have brown and grey feathers blending to tree trunks, short legs, so it's a bit trickier for them to walk. That's called a nightjar. Oh, you should know what this one is. One class in school definitely should know what this is. These are nightingales, and they are small brown birds. They are nocturnal, and their beautiful singing can be heard at night time. And they are omnivores. They eat insects such as ants and beetles. They also eat nuts and seeds. So they have plain brown feathers, so they can hide in bushes easily. They have a thin beak and a beautiful singing voice. I wonder if the nightingales have beautiful singing voices too. I bet Mr. Newton has. They have a small body. That's a nightingale. How about this bird? This is a corncrake, and they like to hide in tall grass. So you might not spot these in your garden. They like to hunt at night, and they're quite hard to spot. They are omnivores, so they eat plants and animals, such as insects, slugs, and worms. They have a long neck, long legs for wading in wetlands, so you may see them down at Ferry Meadows, a round body, and that's a corncrake. Beautiful looking bird here. Do you know what it's called? Yes, it's a kingfisher. Kingfishers come out during the day. They can be found fishing in rivers and lakes. They like to perch on a branch and dive down to catch their prey. They also eat small fish like minnows or sticklebacks, and they also eat tadpoles. Sorry about this, everybody. I've got a battery issue, so I'm just going to switch my battery on. So there's the kingfisher. So it has very bright blue and orange feathers, a long pointy beak for diving into the water, short orange legs, and a small body. You should all know what this one is. So this is a mallard. Mallards are large ducks that come out during the day. They live near water, such as lakes and ponds. And they are omnivores. They eat underwater plants, seeds, and acorns. They also eat small fish and insects. The male mallards have green, purple, brown, and blue feathers. The females are mostly brown, with a few blue feathers tucked underneath. The mallard, the male bird, has a green head and a long yellow bill, whereas the female has a long black bill. They both have webbed feet, which helps them with their swimming. So that's the mallard duck. Another beautiful coloured bird is a woodpecker. This is a green woodpecker, and they come out during the day. They use their strong beak to dig for ants, and ants make up most of their diet. They do sometimes eat other insects and some seeds or fruit. They have a red head, green feathers, and strong claws for gripping the sides of tree trunks. They need their long bill for digging up ants. And that's a green woodpecker. So here's some information that tells us all the different terms. So the glossary tells us that a carnivore is an animal that eats only other animals. A herbivore only eats plants. An omnivore eats both. A predator is a name for an animal that hunts and eats other animals. Prey is animal that is eaten by another. Diurnal is an animal that's awake during the day. Nocturnal are awake during the night. Camouflage is its colour or pattern that helps an animal blend into its surroundings. So you might spot some of those birds or some of these as part of your big garden bird watch. One of the things you can do to attract your birds into your garden is put out plenty of food for them. So you may have bird feeders in your gardens already. Have a look on the RSPB website to give you some information about the sort of bird food you can put out to attract different types of birds into your garden. If you do take part in the RSPB Birdwatch, please send some photographs. You can either send them to the office and I'll have a look at them and send them through to your classes, or you could tweet them on the school Twitter page. More information about the RSPB Birdwatch event will be sent out to you nearer the time. For now, I hope you enjoyed this assembly, and just to finish, I'm going to show you something you can do to help to attract your birds into your garden to take part in the Birdwatch. So have a look at how to make a bird feeder. Let's help our feathered friends over the winter. I'm going to show you how to make a bird feeder. Collect up everything you will need. An adult can help you to pierce a hole in the yogurt pot and thread the string through. Cut up some lard and ask an adult to melt it on the hob. When assembling your bird feeder, you may want to put some tissue underneath the yogurt pot to soak up any excess liquid. When it is assembled, put it in the freezer for a few hours.
After a few hours, remove the bird food from the freezer. You can release it from the pot by running a knife around the outside. If you've used a vegetarian alternative to lard, it will still work. Your bird feed will be a little bit softer. Put it outside for your birds to enjoy. Bye everybody. Have fun with the RSPB Birdwatch, and Eco Warriors, don't forget to collect your sheets from your teachers and complete your eco checks. Bye bye for now.